We're now going to make our way over to Fort Frances and hear from Auxiliary Captain Arthur Heathcote, Corps Officer and Pastor for Fort Frances. Over to you, Arthur.
Good morning. Welcome to Northwestern Ontario. My name is Arthur and I am the Corps Officer here in Fort Frances. I've held the rank of Auxiliary Captain for just over a year now. And prior to coming to Fort Frances, I was at Divisional Headquarters in Winnipeg for just over 5 years. I was also a soldier or a member of the Winnipeg Weedham Corps. So the Salvation Army Community Ministries here in Fort Frances consists of three specific elements. First and foremost, we are a church. We have Sunday morning worship and a Wednesday evening Bible study. Second, the community thrift store provides a safe and ethical way for people to recycle household goods and clothing, and revenue generated from the sale of that is used to fund our various programs here in Fort Frances, like our community services, family services, our food bank, summer camp opportunities for children, our Christmas hamper program, as well as toys, as well as emergency supports as well. And thirdly, we provide services to support individuals who are vulnerable, facing challenges or crisis through the Family Services Department. Again, food bank is managed through there. We provide emergency fuel, food, clothing, and temporary shelter, as well as the seasonal supports are all handled through that as well, the Christmas hampers and toys. Community Family Services conducts client interviews to assess clients' needs and how they can best help them meet their needs. Well, since COVID happened, our church programming was closed down, which created a bit of a dilemma for some of our people. A lot of our congregation were not really Zoom friendly, so to say. So we were able to institute MP3 format, where it was just an audio presentation for them. So I was able to put together the Sunday sermon in an MP3 format and deliver that through email to those who had subscribed for that service. And that worked so well that we also did our Bible study through that format as well. So again, MP3 format for the Bible study, and it was really enjoyed by the congregation. Our thrift store closed down at the end of March, meaning that our ability to generate revenue abruptly stopped, and we also had to lay off 3 longtime employees as well. Throughout this time, we've continued to accept donations through our back door, which have been quarantined once they were received. And once the store reopens, and at that point in time, we have plenty of stock that we'll be able to start generating funding again. The Community Services, Family Services Office, though, has remained open throughout this time. Initially, everything closed down in Fort, but we resolved to continue to be available and to the people who needed help at this time. So initially our food bank had just been open for 4 hours a week. We instantly went to Monday through Friday, 30 hours a week for food bank. What we did though, in order to eliminate the pileups, so to say, is we instituted an appointment system. So people had to call in, make an appointment for the food bank or for the community family services, and that way we were able to look after that social distancing issue that was so very important at the time. Fortunately, we had some emergency grants and a lot of community generosity poured in through our doors, which enabled us to provide perishable goods for our hampers. Prior to, we only did non-perishables, but now we were able to supplement hampers with things like hamburger, chicken, milk, eggs, bread, fresh fruit as well. So since April, we've dispensed about 6,500 pounds of food through our doors, which and that went to about 308 households in town. Over 58% of those households were brand new clients, people that we had never seen before. Also in the community, we decided to deliver lunches to essential workers here. Since that time, we've had about 280 lunches delivered. We'd pick a certain agency each week and drop in at lunch and provide them as a surprise over lunch hour, just as just to encourage them and let them know that they're thought of during this time as well. We have a nursing home here in Fort Frances that has about 130 residents that had been in lockdown since the end of January. It opened 2 days before the pandemic and then got shut down again. So we really wanted to reach out to those individuals who were starving for company and missing family, that type of deal. So the first month, we did up an encouragement card for each of those residents with a package of tea in it. And we'd also received a large donation of pot of gold chocolates. So we were able to deliver 180 boxes of chocolates to all of the staff at the nursing home as well, just to let them know that, that they're remembered and supported throughout this time. The following month, we sent a small package size Kleenex to each of the residents as well, with a little encouragement note inside of it. And then the third month, we sent in another encouragement card just to let people know that they were being prayed for, that they were remembered. We also have hospitals throughout this area, and at the hospital here, we delivered gift packs to all of the staff members. The gift packs consisted of a package of Kleenex, a small instant drink, a granola bar, and a small pocket-sized magnifier. And that was delivered to each member, staff member at the hospital, about 250 there. And we received some feedback from the administrator there that they really appreciated the fact that we remembered all of the staff. Many of the gifts that had come in for the first few months were designated to just nurses and doctors. So it was a real blessing to be able to let a housekeeping individual know that they were being remembered and their contribution was really important to what they were doing in this town. Our catchment area consists of the entire Rainy River district, which goes from Emo to Rainy River to Atikokan as well. It's a fairly large area, so we reached out to all of those hospitals as well, delivered a gift to each staff member in those 3 facilities, as well as they have long-term care residents, so we made sure that they received some encouragement as well. So a few weeks into the pandemic, our food hamper numbers started to drop. And we were getting really concerned about the seniors and children and those on fixed incomes here in Fort Frances. So we decided to launch a children's lunch kit day. And we did that from our front door. It was open to anyone with children to just come and grab a lunch kit that was filled with all kinds of food goodies and some toys as well, just to bring some encouragement to children. The first time we did it, we saw 44 of those kits picked up, and it was so well received that we did it another month, and this time we had the Kiwanis Club of Fort Frances decided to sponsor it, and 42 of those kits were picked up. We also reached out to Meals on Wheels here in Fort Frances. They had experienced a budget cut that was hurting them, but what we were able to do is we were able to supply them with a bag of fresh fruit that would last a full week for each client. So that's been delivered each week for the last number of weeks. I think since the middle of May, we started that program, and it has been really well received. We've received some thank you cards from those individuals just saying, thank you for the fruit. You know, it's been meaningful to them. We also reached out to the Rainy River District Services Administration Board, who manage all the rent subsidized apartments here in town, so that we could tap into those seniors and the other fixed incomers. So we put a poster up in the building that basically said, Salvation Army will be in your neighborhood next week. If you'd like a food hamper, please give us a call and let us know. Well, the first attempt at it, we had posters up in a block that had about 30 apartments in it, and we only received 2 phone calls. So, so we decided to drop off some extras at that as well. And then we found out a few days later that those extras disappeared as well. So to date, we've done 7 apartment blocks in Rainy River, Fort Francis, and Emo too. So it's been really well received. What was interesting was just being able to be proactive, and we were able to reach out to a lot more people that way.
Oh, thank you, Arthur. That's great work you guys got going on out there. I do have a couple questions for you as well. One being, has there been an impact that you have witnessed?
Well, yes, the impact that we witnessed was the fact that there were some people that were hesitant to identify themselves to us. So it was a question of, you know, were they thinking that they were taking away from someone else, so depriving themselves of food that they needed. So just by dropping off those extra packs at the apartment blocks definitely showed that people did really appreciate being able to pick up that stuff. So, but it was important that we were proactive in doing that. We couldn't expect people to come to us, and so it was good to know that the extras that were dropped off were used. And throughout this time, it's really given the Salvation Army an opportunity to raise their visibility dramatically within Fort Francis, not only with the individuals, but with new corporate partnerships that we've realized as well that are going to be beneficial in the long run.
Nice. And final question for you is, what makes it all worthwhile?
You know, we had an individual that called us one morning and said, I wonder if I can come in for your food bank. And we said, of course, and we arranged a specific time for him to come in. He was a father with 3 children. And he came in, and when he saw the amount of food that was laid out for him, he was overwhelmed. He just, is this all for me? And tears started to roll down his face. He had never had to use a food bank before, and he was just blown away by the amount of stuff that we were able to provide for that family at the time. So I mean, we fight for the dignity of all people, you know, and it's stories like that that motivate me to continue to do what we do.
Thank you so much for sharing all that with us. Well, we're coming up to noon, and I don't want to stand between anyone and their lunch, so we will thank our speakers again for taking time out of the day to share with us the view from the Salvation Army Ministry Units, and thank them for the work that they do again. They are Executive Director Major Gordon Taylor and Addiction Counselor Anna Opa from the Winnipeg Center of Hope Shelter, Major Brenda Hammond, Corps Officer, Pastor, Porter's La Prairie Food Bank, Debbie Clark, the Area Emergency Disaster Service Director out of Prairie East, and Auxiliary Captain Arthur Heathcote, Corps Officer and Pastor for Fort Francis. I want to take this opportunity to thank you Our valued donors, all the work you heard today is only possible because of your generosity. Without you, we'd not be able to fill the gaps and provide for our most vulnerable. So on behalf of myself, our team, and those we serve, thank you for helping us give hope today and every day in communities across our provinces. We welcome any feedback or questions that we did not have a time to answer today or get back to. Please reach out to your contact. There will be a short thank you video from Lieutenant Colonel John P. Murray to follow, and then the call will end. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and be safe out there. Thanks for joining us.
When COVID-19 brought the world to a standstill, it also put the future of hundreds of thousands of Canadians in jeopardy. More than ever, our communities needed us, and we needed you. Thanks to you, and because of your generosity and kindness, hungry school-aged children received food. Struggling families knew where they could find their next meal, and lonely seniors were able to digitally connect with their loved ones. People experiencing homelessness found a safe place to sleep, and our food banks were stocked to meet the increased demand for assistance. Our work is not over. Indeed, it is only just beginning as the recovery effort continues. We're grateful for your support and invite you to visit salvationarmy.ca for up-to-date information on the Salvation Army's COVID-19 response. On behalf of the Salvation Army and those we've served during the COVID-19 pandemic, thank you. Together, we're giving hope today.